Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast. The podcast reviews movies and talks about nerd shit. This is episode 752, and it is your review. Is your review of the most beautiful from director Akira Kurosawa, as we are starting our final Akira Kurosawa month here, which is this is number 6, I believe. This is month number 6 of him, I think, or 5. I cannot remember.
We'd have to go back and look at the archives.
Yeah. But before we can get into what's it called? This is a Nerd You Gotta Hear. Show us one of my co-hosts, Brad. You got it?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a wonderful Monday night. And it's a bit chilly.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly out there with you?
Yeah, we got a crazy windstorm come in it started like Friday, and it's been constant. And every time we get a crazy windstorm, it brings in a cold front.
Yeah, it was kind of like chilly in the morning, but then it just calmed down. It was raining too, so yeah.
We're supposed to be. We're hopefully getting rain Friday because we need it.
Yeah. I don't know, Brad. Our weather patterns are so fucking weird.
You remember when monsoons used to be like, they had like a time? It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's gonna be the afternoon, like this time.
Or monsoons were like only a thing in the Eastern world too. With like somehow like I don't know why the fuck it came over here. Yeah.
Because we needed rain, I guess.
Yeah.
But now monsoons are just like, well, here's a 500-year storm event.
Yeah. Yeah. But Brad, before we can get into the review, how are you doing, man?
Doing all right. I went to work today. Kind of tired, kind of sleepy, but is what it is.
All right, man. I'm tired too. I'm sleepy as well. I went to work, came back, watched this movie, made some chicken salad. So, had dinner, and I'm gonna go and work out after this. Drink my shake and go to bed. Yeah. I watched Invincible's newest episode yesterday.
I also watched Invincible's newest
episode. Oh man, I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also just realized that how the fuck am I gonna edit these episodes when I'm at my what's it called when I'm back home in Bronzo.
I do not know.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Because I don't have my PC.
I didn't hear, sir.
Yeah. This is gonna be interesting. But other than that, man, just been chilling here. Just honestly chilling. Watched the Oscars yesterday. And other than that, not much else going on around here. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Any surprises at the Oscars?
Sean Baker took a lot of what he was nominated for. I think Sean Baker took everything he was nominated for. He took what's it called, Best Director, Best Screenplay. He took what's it called, Best Editor.
Which movie was that?
Anora.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And The Substance won one award.
Hey, it won.
Yeah,
It wasn't Demi Moore though, was it?
No, it wasn't Demi. Which really fucking sucks.
Yeah. But Demi had it on lock.
Yeah, I'm glad that she at least took something this season.
She was a part of Conan's opening though. That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. But yeah, other than that, nothing crazy. But other than that, man, this episode is live early and ad-free over on patreon.com/nerdcore. You can get this episode live early and ad-free before anybody else gets to watch it on Patreon. By going to Patreon and pledge the $1 tier or above. And yeah, Brad, it's our final month this month. Mm-hmm. No coin toss needed. Is it going to be done differently, guys?
We're finishing Kurosawa.
Yep. So
it's been 8 years.
Yep. It's been 8 years. After this month, we could relatively be okay with ending the podcast because we had finished his movies.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the main goals, was try and finish Kurosawa's filmography.
Yeah. His directed movies. Only his directed movies.
Yeah.
And only his directed feature length, not short length. Because
what about the horse movie? Was that feature?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a documentary. It's a TV movie.
Yeah. Okay. I give you that.
Yeah. So this is how it's gonna go, guys. We have no extra review except for one extra review. There's also no mini pod this month. Sorry, but don't worry. What's it called?
Everyone's getting this.
Yeah. No mini pod this month. But you still get your 2 Spawn episodes this month. So you have that to look forward to. So this is the way it goes down. Today we do The Most Beautiful. Our next one is No Regrets for Our Youth. Next week we have both Dreams and Rhapsody in August.
Whew.
And then the third week we are doing Shunshiro Sagata, Part 1 and Part 2. 1 day for each.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final week we will do his final film, Maradayo. And for our extra, one lone extra review, we are probably going to discuss probably the most famous movie to come out of Kurosawa, what's it called, of his influence, which is the original, The Magnificent Seven. So.
Unless you consider the original Star Wars.
True, but I feel like this is like...
Magnificent Seven, I probably put over, because the Star Wars, I mean, that was more the Hidden Fortress.
Yeah.
And then the Magnificent Seven, of course, Seven Samurai.
Yeah. So that's the schedule this month, guys, and no coin toss. Brad and I just played paper rock scissors before we went on live today. So Brad's gonna be reading the info today.
I wanted to bring this up because I found a little history. The director of Magnificent Seven, he received a samurai sword from Kurosawa because Kurosawa appreciated the movie so much.
Damn.
Unlike Sergio Leone,
who got a fucking season this in.
Who received a lawsuit because Kurosawa was like, I liked the movie. That was my fucking movie.
Yup. But with that said, man, let's get ready to do this thing, Brad. So we'll be back with our review after these words from our sponsors. Today's episode of the Nerd Court is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code TheNerdCourt. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. All right, Brad. Go ahead and take it away with a introduction from Wikipedia and then Criterion.
Or wait, am I doing Wikipedia first?
If you want to, so you can get all the credits out and then just go to...
I was going to do credits last because I like doing credits last.
All right, cool.
All right, so coming from Criterion, the Most Beautiful, this portrait of female volunteer workers at an optics plant during World War II, shot on location at the Nippon Kogaku factory, was created with a patriotic agenda. Yet, thanks to Akira Kurosawa's groundbreaking semi-documentary approach, The Most Beautiful is a revealing look at Japanese women of their era and anticipates the aesthetics of Japanese cinema's post-war social realism. And coming from Wikipedia now, The Most Beautiful is a 1944 Japanese drama and propaganda film written and directed by Akira Kurosawa. The semi-documentary film follows a group of female volunteer workers in an optics factory during the Second World War, during which the film was produced. Yes, each one only had one paragraph, so that's what you guys get. And so we got directed and screenplay by, of course, Akira Kurosawa, starring Takashi Shimura, Yoko Yaguchi, Ichiro Sugai, Takako Iri, cinematography Joji Ohara, music by Seiichi Suzuki, and a release date April 13th, 1944, running time 85 minutes.
All right.
What we got?
So I went to this website called akirakurosawa.info. Of course, this would be the case. The Most Beautiful is available on Blu-ray only in Japan. Cool.
Yeah, this movie definitely needed a bit of cleaning up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It wasn't like the most horrible one I've seen. Like we've seen some ones that needed cleaning up, but it definitely could have used some cleaning up.
One Wonderful Sunday really does need that cleanup.
Yeah. Such a good movie too.
Great movie. Brad, I know you have the autobiography. Did it say anything about this movie?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. I just know, just looking around on the internet, that Kurosawa really did like this movie for himself. He holds it dear as one of his most dearest films, I guess they said. So that gives you a kind of response what he felt about the film. which I don't think, just like looking at reviews and looking at like the tomato meter and all that, I don't think fans think the same
No.
of this.
Here, I'll read this from the Kurosawa.info. After his debut work with Senshiro Sagata, the now 33-year-old Kurosawa was asked to direct a wartime propaganda film about Japanese fighter planes. However, due to the military's lack of funding for the project, the film never materialized, and Kurosawa conceived The Most Beautiful instead. That a director got to direct anything at all could perhaps be considered a sign of the young director's place in the Japanese film industry at the time. The film was made at a time when supplies were low and film production had come down from 232 films a year in 1941 to just 46 in 1944. Granted, many of the other directors were serving overseas. Kurosawa approached the project with the eye of a documentarian. In his autobiography, the director writes, "When I received this project to direct, I decided I wanted to try doing it semi-documentary style. I began with the task of ridding the young actresses of everything that had physically and emotionally acquired that smacked of theatricality. The odor of makeup, the snobbery, the affections of the stage, that special self-consciousness that only actors have. All of this had to go. I wanted to return them to their original status of ordinary young girls." Watching the film now, 60 years after its release, do you think that the performances mirror Kurosawa's goals with his actresses? The film was shot between January and March 1944, largely at the Nippon Kogaku factory in Hirosuka, southwest of Tokyo. Kurosawa's decision not only to use a real factory, but also to have his actors and crew there during filming was the first example of a method that he would come to employ in many of his films, with the aim of producing realistic performances. With The Most Beautiful, the result is so convincing that many commentators, including Donald Ritchie, in fact approached the film as a purely fictional piece, but almost as a documentary film, which simply uses actors and the techniques of narrative filmmaking to tell what it has to tell. I agree.
Yeah,
This movie is very documentary based.
Yeah, we've seen that before though in movies.
Yeah.
It's basically a documentary, but they use actors to kind of
Most of what's
show
it
it.
called, Kiarostami stuff
Yeah,
is like that. Definitely, see what he was trying to do here, especially with a documentary style. And I think it's a good early Kurosawa movie, but dude, it is riddled to the core with propaganda here.
oh yeah, heavily.
Like heavily propagandized, man. First on Criterion, then Wikipedia, then maybe Reddit, and then a short TED talk about the film.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's how we get our 30 minutes, Stacy.
Yeah. What are your initial thoughts, Brad?
It's not my favorite Kurosawa, I'll tell you that.
Oh no.
No, far from. But you can tell still this is a Kurosawa film. The way stuff is framed, lighting, the natural lighting with the shadows, it's very Kurosawa. Like he filmed this. But also, again, we have female characters who are actually very strong characters. I mean, there is the propaganda behind them, but they're shown to be very strong female characters. Specifically, Watanabe, who is played by, apparently, Yoko Yaguchi, who was Kurosawa's wife. So, she is probably the strongest female character in there. There's a few more, I would say, but her character is a very strong lead. But you can definitely tell this is overly propaganda. Just where they go and be like, well, the women will have to increase production by 50%, and then all the women are, chatting away, and they're all despondent and all this, and I guess the guys in charge, they go over and they go like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like this?" And Watanabe has to go out there and be like, because you don't think we can do as much as the men. Like, we know we can't do as much as the men, but we can at least do like 75%. Like, think more of us than that. And it's just like, I don't know about that. I mean, I think like you're expecting an extra 50% is quite a bit. And then the men, they're expecting 100%, and that's quite a bit. And they all do it with a smile, which I don't think most people would do it with a smile. And then you got them, they're getting sick, and they don't want to be sent home. They want to stay in the factory and work in the
Yeah.
factory instead of going home. And then Watanabe's mother dies.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I want to continue to work because my mother said that, I have this responsibility. I should finish this responsibility before going home. And
Yeah.
it's just like, that's a bit much.
Yeah,
in my
it's
opinion.
that's the propaganda part that I take a really big like problem with, where I'm like, jeez, man,
You're putting yourself and your well-being,
yeah,
you're putting the country and this factory, you're putting this factory over the well-being of yourself.
yeah. But I mean, I agree with you, Brad. It is still very much a Kurosawa movie. There's some shots in there that are really like Kurosawa, and like there's a shot that I really liked that I was telling you about off air, where they're kind of like panning through all these different women there at the factory, and like some are focused, some aren't focused, and it's just a really really good shot that I really liked. But story wise, like it's not really doing a lot for me. It's also funny enough, for a movie that's pretty short, an hour and 26, it kind of feels like it's dragging a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
Mom always said I needed to lose a finger or two in the factory.
That's why unions happened.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, there's shots in this though, you can tell, like beautiful shots. I mean, there's the whole shot where like the two women are outside in the garden and they're crying at each other hysterically because they fought, and that was the whole reason Watanabe got in trouble. And
Yeah.
there's that shot in that garden, and it like goes down to their feet. Tarantino would have loved it. But it's some great shots in there, and overall there is good storytelling in this, but I
Yeah.
think the amount of propaganda that's thrown in there, and the amount of my love for this factory, and this is everything, it drags it. That's what really drags
Yeah.
it.
Well, look, man, I would say that it's pretty safe to say that me and Brad have not watched a lot of propaganda movies. So, what's it called? This, I can't say this is the best propaganda movie I've seen, because I think this is the only propaganda movie I've seen. But I would say that my idea of what a propaganda movie looked like was very different from what this is.
Yeah, and I think when we think of propaganda, we're probably thinking like like the Russian or like Nazi,
The Nazi fucking,
Germany.
what's it called? What is a Triumph of the Will?
Yeah, something to that respect. And this, I mean, I don't know. It's a little bit. There's more story to this.
There's more nuance to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
I
think
guess you could
just
also
have to-
say like
you just have to
about
thank Kurosawa for that.
yeah. I guess you could also say like it's about like the weight that the women had to carry while the men were at war, and how it a lot of people were like, well, the women just kind of stayed home, and it's like it's not true. The women were in those factories too.
Yeah, it was kind of like the U.S. one. We're in the factory too, making warplanes and tanks and all the other stuff.
Almost like if nobody's there to work, they're gonna get somebody in there to work.
Yeah, I mean, if all the men are at war, and I think this definitely shows that. I think it shows the kind of the militaristic look of also what they did to the civilians, because they're in there, they're doing drums, and they it doesn't seem like they really get a break.
Nah.
And they definitely, it shows like if you're sick or if you can't work, you should feel shame. That's what it brings. It's like if you're a lazy fuck, you should feel shame. Or if you're sickly and weak, you should feel shame. That's kind of what the film. And again, that's propaganda for everyone to be like, oh, we need to put our country above all. And continue.
I wonder how many people who watch this kind of but it is like, the thing is that like we're watching this with the eyes of somebody who is already knew what Kurosawa's position was on all this, and knew knew how he felt about the government, and how he didn't want to make propaganda movies, and
I
You
mean,
know,
but what choice
so
did he have,
yeah,
especially in 44? And I don't know how old he was, but I think he was fairly young, a young filmmaker.
33, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean, all in all, what choice did he have to the Empire?
yeah. But I bring that up because like I wonder how it felt, watching this as at the time when when you're living under this regime and you're kind of like, okay, like I guess this is just what it is, and
Well,
you
and
know
I guess it's an interesting take of we watch this film and we see what it was like under Japanese rule, like the
hmm
Emperor and kind of that, and then we see his films after this when the Americans come in.
yeah,
And I think he's allowed a little more leeway to a point, but maybe to not the extent he would want. And I think we get that down the road. More movies that is made in the style he wants.
yeah. But I think I'm pretty comfortable putting this literally at the lowest. I think this
Yeah,
is my least favorite. I wasn't a massive fan of what's it called of Scandal, but even then, I think Scandal is way better than this. You know,
yeah.
but I don't not like it.
No, no. I'd like everything like a Kurosawa film we've come to love is in this.
Yeah,
It's just the story. The story is just not completely Kurosawa because he had the government telling him like we want to up the propaganda. We need cheers and the people to keep supporting us.
yeah, yeah. I really wonder what Those Who Make Tomorrow is like then. You know.
Hmm.
And of course, it's lost, so we'll never know. Make a propaganda film, at least not without Mark Wahlberg.
Matt Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Matt Wahlberg.
Um,
Say hello to your mother for me.
yeah, but I think it would be safe to say that I give this. I mean, I wonder what did I give
I don't even know.
Scandal?
I don't know if I've given anything lower than a 7 before.
Yeah, I wonder what did I give Scandal. I think it's really all gonna be based on what I gave Scandal. I gave Scandal a 3 out of 5 stars. Okay, but what's that?
What does that equate to? Is that like a 7.5?
Um,
7?
if Scandal is a 5.5 or 5 or 6, then I'm pretty comfortable saying that this is a 5 out of 10. The Most Beautiful is a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, like I said, man, I think it's visually is appealing, and I think that Kurosawa style is felt. I just think it is heavily propagandized, and it's just, like you
It,
said, he feels good about this movie because I feel like it's where he got close to his wife, right?
I think there's circumstances outside of the whole film. Just
Yeah,
like he met his wife, and then they probably had a good time in their filming with.
yeah,
And I don't know if these were actresses or workers. I feel like he had a good time filming there during this time, and that could be why he thinks about it or thought about it so fondly.
yeah, yeah. So I say like I like it. I don't think it's amazing or anything like that. But this movie, what's it called? For a propaganda film, Kurosawa still manages to make it his.
I mean, just the lighting and framing and everything. It's Kurosawa.
Yeah,
Even the characters are somewhat Kurosawa, but there's just that extra propaganda that's thrown in there that kind of slows the story down.
yeah. Brad, what's your final verdict?
I'm going to give The Most Beautiful. I think this is my lowest I've ever given a Kurosawa, a 6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10. Wow. Okay. Um. Well, with that said, that concludes our review of The Most Beautiful and our first review for Kurosawa month here at the Nerdcore. We're gonna be doing the what's it called? No Regrets for Our Youth next, which I believe that's not a
I don't
propaganda film. With that title, I don't think it would be right.
ever know.
You never know.
It was 46.
Oh, this is
Oh,
what's it called? Yeah. No, yeah, this is way after the Japanese Empire fell. Yeah, this is after that.
and yeah.
Yeah. If somehow what's it called? anybody could find that long ass cut of the idiot, would love to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah. With that said, that concludes our review. Thank you guys for joining us as always. Keep up to date with us on nerdcore.com, patreon.com/nerdcore, twitch.tv/nerdcore, Twitter at the Nerdcore, Instagram at the Nerdcore, Letterboxd at the Nerdcore, TikTok at the Nerdcore. All that helps us out. Check us all out in all those places. Not to be confused with no regrets. No regrets. Yeah.
No regrets.
Regrets. Yep.
No regrets.
Yep. Yeah, so check us out there. Discord link is in the description below where you can find us and talk to us about Kurosawa. Made it this far into the video, please go ahead and comment on the YouTube video what you think about this movie. You think we're being too hard on it for being a propaganda movie, or do you think we're not being hard on it enough?
Yeah.
Let us know. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss a review this month from the Nerdcore. And if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app of choice, make sure you follow us and you give us a 5-star review. All that helps us out so freaking much. Thank you to our patrons. Without them, it's not possible. We love you guys. Tell them about our executive producer, Shane Brad.
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/xsrk or on Twitter at thrifted.il, or go buy something from the Suppy God at depop.com/Prison City Vintage.
Yeah. And before any of y'all ask, no, we are not going to do a propaganda movie month.
No, I don't think we'd quite enjoy that.
No. It was pretty rough having to get through the propaganda in this.
Yeah, I mean, for a Kurosawa, I think the only good thing going for it was a Kurosawa film.
Yeah.
And, like, visually, and, I mean, for the most part, like, I feel like there's way more propaganda films out there that are probably far worse.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this next one's gonna be pretty interesting, but we'll see where we land with that one. But for now, that's all we got for you guys. We're ready for this last month of Kurosawa. I'm excited to get through this movie. I know we're not gonna be able to complete his full filmography, but you know, at least we'll get to watch the ones that are available.
Yeah.
Unless somebody finds the.
Where'd he go? Did he press the wrong thing? Stacy, where? Oh, there he is. Okay.
I clicked the button.
Yeah,
I said, unless somebody.
I knew you pressed the wrong fucking thing.
Yeah, at least as long if somebody finds those who make tomorrow, but highly doubt that. So, you know, it's lost for a reason, I guess. Even though somebody said that they watched it in Tokyo, so I don't know.
So maybe it's somewhere.
Yeah, it's definitely not gonna have English subs. I'll tell you that.
Somebody steal that film.
Yeah.
Then we'll just have to go frame by frame, and or you have your phone listen to it with the app that translates.
Yeah. But with that said, Brad, let's go ahead and get him out of here.
All right, Raul. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to Stacy for once again joining us. Thank you to our listeners out there, our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, no matter how loud you play your drum, don't put your health below anything else. Young Yoda out.